Get full episodes of The Damage Report as a podcast on iTunes and Android, and you can watch the live show every weekday on YouTube TV. Joining us now to break down some of his 2018 reporting, give us a preview of what he'll be working on in 2019, TOT Investigates, Ken Klippenstein, back on the show. Ken, welcome.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me.
Always glad to have you here. So a few things I want to talk about, some news, some of what you're going to be working on. But first, I do want to give you some credit. You've been on the show multiple times over the course of the year to profile different stories that you had worked on, investigations you had done. From your point of view, let's pat you on the back a little bit. What was some of the standout work that you did this year?
I was happy with the work on Saudi Arabia, and above all, happy that people are really starting to care about this issue now, because I've been covering Yemen since the Obama administration. It was really hard to get people to care about it then, and to the public's credit, they are getting a lot more involved now, particularly after the Khashoggi scandal, and I think we're going to see some real motion on that in the Congress this coming year.
Hopefully. I mean, we saw a couple of weeks ago big votes in the Senate. Hopefully, with Ro Khanna and his movement in the House, we won't have to wait much longer for some movement in the House as well. That would certainly be good. And yeah, I just want to say, I mean, especially on issues like Yemen, like I know from my personal experience, we talk about it a lot. When we put up videos on Yemen, people don't watch them. But when you do investigations and you tweet them out, they get reach, and so it warms my heart to see this in-depth, important reporting on topics that people generally you have to twist their arm to get them to care about it. The fact that they're so excited to share what you have found, I just enjoy seeing that. So thank you for your work.
I appreciate that, because I tried very hard to try to make it digestible and something that ordinary people can follow. So because we've seen what happens when you just let the think tanks follow these things, not the best outcome.
No.
So I think it's important to try to translate in a way that public can not only understand but feel like they can make a difference. And I do think we can on this. I've been in touch with a number of Democrats' offices in the last few weeks, and we're going to see real motion on this, and there's going to be a real chance to change what is really a disgusting humanitarian crisis that was completely voluntary, unfortunately.
Well, let's talk about a new way we've discovered over the past few days that it is disgusting, and that is that apparently the Saudis have been using their money to fly in Sudanese mercenaries, including children as young as 14 to 17 years old, who apparently primarily go for the money. Is obviously awful. It's in the context of a situation, it's one of the worst foreign policy situations in the world right now. But how did you react to seeing that reporting from the New York Times?
Well, it was astonishing, and I wasn't shocked because there had been reporting in smaller outlets, but what I was surprised by was that this was broken in the New York Times, which again is a reflection of the sea change in attitude, towards not just Saudi Arabia, but the coalition war that we are supporting with tax dollars. It was shown that they weren't even charging the Saudi government for mid-air refuels of their sorties flying over to drop bombs in Yemen. So our tax dollars were actually paying for that, in violation of law, I believe, but also providing logistical and intelligence support without which the Saudis wouldn't be able to do this. You've had a number of serious, military analysts say they just don't have the kind of sophisticated military intelligence that you would need to carry out these kind of things without our critical support.
So can we get any kind of preview, anything you're working on right now in terms of Saudi Arabia and Yemen?
Yeah, I'm working on what is the next push to end U.S. participation in the war going to look like legislatively, because they came very close, but there are segments, of course, much of the Republican Party doesn't care, and there are segments of the Democratic Party that doesn't want to pull out of the coalition. So we're going to see a battle. It's not just because it was a close vote last time doesn't mean it's a sure bet. And then also people are going to have to pressure the White House not to veto any kind of legislation that they pass. So there's a lot that's still up in the air. Very fluid situation, and I'm really looking forward to keeping people informed of how they can play some role in this. So again, we don't leave it to the think tanks who've so brilliantly run the region for the last decades.
So I want to change gears briefly. We are now, especially with Elizabeth Warren announcing her exploratory committee to possibly run for the presidency. I guess we're in the primary, 13 months out from the Iowa caucuses. So. I know that you're focused right now on Yemen. Do you feel any pressure to begin investigations of any of these announced candidacies or any likely candidates?
This is sort of a reflection of my temperament. I tend not to, it's such a spectacle in some regard. I'm not saying it's not important, but the electoral spectacle can draw attention away from stuff that, just like the Yemen thing we were talking about, people can make a real difference. So I'm going to try my best to avoid that until it's until I sense that it's a little more relevant. Because I mean, we just had the midterms and we're already talking about elections, and I mean, it's not like you shouldn't talk about it, but it's just like, I'm an old fashioned kind of gumshoe reporter. So I've never been. It's not that it's unimportant. It's just it hasn't always been my thing. So you'll definitely see stuff from me on the Democrats, but not yet.
Okay. And anything else you're working on right now?
I'm working on stuff with the shutdown. I will say this: I think the public would be amazed at what, in particular, in Homeland Security relevant stuff is being shut down. Stuff that people desperately need, and the services that are going to be shut down go far beyond what's been publicly reported.
Wow. And is it a situation where I'm assuming some of these organizations in the government probably have some operating funds that they can continue on? Is this a thing where, I mean, we're like 9-10 days in, is this going to get worse and worse as the weeks go on?
Absolutely, and it'll get much worse because some of these places still have discretionary funds. Really, what determines if which agencies will continue running, in large part is the agencies that still have money left over. What agencies are that? It's the Defense Department.
Yeah.
It's aspects of the Department of Homeland Security. It's these things that people might not think redound to their benefit a whole lot. On the other hand, what's going to get shut down? I mean, you see things. Social Security Administration. I had somebody from the IRS reach out to me saying, we help a lot of poor people. We help a lot of folks that don't have the resources to know how to fill out their taxes. We don't have resources to do that, and we're worried a lot of people aren't going to be in compliance with federal law because we literally don't have the resources to show people how to do this stuff. So it goes way beyond what we know, and often the things that sort of help people kind of socially the most kind of like benefit to the public are the ones that are running out of money.
Yeah, I have a feeling that if the IRS is unable to function this year, the Republican Party will be okay with it. Probably.
And that's exactly what I've been saying. This is their platform, right? They want to shut down the government, not the Pentagon, not the Department of Homeland Security, but much of it, the stuff that's really popular. So I wish it would be framed in that way.
Yeah, it's certainly an unequal playing field, sort of fundamentally in terms of a governing philosophy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Ken, I want to thank you for joining us once again and helping close out the year on the Damage Report. Thank you for everything you do.
Thanks so much for always having me on. I've always appreciated the conversation.
Thank you. Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.